Hey, welcome back to the Viking Central podcast. Got Tom here with me as always. We have a special guest today. We have Vikings' newest wide receiver, Thayer Thomas, joining us tonight. Thayer, how are we doing?
Great. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, not a problem. Thayer's from NC State, a part of the Wolfpack team down there. He's third in school history in receiving touchdowns, seventh in receptions, and I think you were top 10 in punt return average as well. So you kind of did it all for the Wolfpack. Welcome to Minnesota, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I don't mean to correct you. I'm actually
Yeah.
second in touchdowns and second in catches.
Oh,
But
really?
yeah. That's probably what it was right before this past year.
Sure.
But since I was there one more year, I kind
Okay.
of got into a better position, and
Sure.
I'm behind the great Torrey Holt, which is
Oh, amazing.
really cool. Also, obviously because of how good he is, and the other reason
Yeah.
why is because he was my high school receiver coach, which was
Really?
kind of great. So yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Great company to be in. Obviously, Torrey Holt, one of the greatest, man. No, thank you for correcting me on that because I took it right off NC State's website, and I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
sure
yeah.
if it did have this year's updated into it. But yeah, we're just going to talk a little bit with you, man. Kind of get to know you a little bit. We're excited to have you in Minnesota. I think you're going to fit in perfectly here. But regarding the undrafted free agency process, kind of how did that all kind of come together? Ending up in Minnesota, and what was the process like being an undrafted free agent?
Yeah, before the draft, Coach O'Connell, we had a great conversation. Probably 4 or 5 days before the draft.
Sure,
I just when a head coach, I mean, I talked to a bunch of teams, a lot of scouts, maybe
sure,
a few assistant GMs, but when a head coach calls and kind of shows that interest, um, you know, I was kind of graded as a late day 3 draft pick if possible, or obviously
sure.
a PFA.
Yeah,
So when he called me and kind of just you know told me that I'd have a really good chance to play receiver and obviously try to compete for the punt return job. I thought it was a no brainer. Something that stuck with me is just like as the head coach is that for him to kind of want me. I don't know if he was talking to many other free guys that they were considered bringing in as a free agent, but I
yeah,
feel like that was a good sign for me. And his kind of way to show me his comparable interest to me. He brought up Cooper Cup when he was in LA, just the way he played the game and kind of saw me as a similar type player, and
sure.
it kind of just rubbed me the right way. So
Awesome. Yeah, Kevin O'Connell's only been here for, well, this is his second year now, but he's got his impact printed right on this organization. He's a great guy. We love him here. Have you had a chance to talk to Keenan McCardell yet? Much wide receiver coach?
briefly, not a lot, but
Sure.
I got to talk to Coach Daniels, the special teams
Oh,
coordinator. So
sweet.
that was good.
Yeah, he's a fiery dude. We love Matt Daniels around here too. That dude's awesome. No, that's really cool. Go ahead, Tom. You had something to add too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I just really want to know, what does it mean to you as like a player, knowing that you're kind of expected to go a little earlier, but to have a coach personally call you? Like, how did that make you feel, knowing that? Because I'm sure there wasn't many coaches. That's something Kevin O'Connell has kind of implemented personally since he's been here. He's a really big culture guy. So was he the only coach that called you, or if not, how did that make you feel, kind of as a player, knowing that he wanted you that bad?
Yeah, I mean, I had plenty of meetings with different position coaches before the draft, but he was the only head coach I really talked to. I was in the East West Shrine game, so I got to kind of talk to Coach Belichick, but it really wasn't
Oh, cool.
into depth. Like it was more of a as crossing since I was on the Patriots team, and so it was ran by their staff. But it wasn't into depth. Like, Coach O'Connell wanted to know my whole story because he obviously saw the tape and liked what he saw, and he kind of just wanted to know more as who I am as a person and kind of what I've been through. Because, I started out as a walk on. I played 3 sports in high school. I played baseball too at NC State. So it just
Yeah.
he kind of just wanted to hear the whole thing, and I think he liked what he saw on game film, and then obviously had a good pro day. put up some good numbers in that regard, and I think that just allowed me to have the opportunity that I have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
really cool.
absolutely. Oops, your break. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say you brought up baseball, and that kind of intrigues me a little bit because Jaron Hall, he was drafted in the 5th round. I think he played baseball at BYU as well. I think he was a two-sport athlete, and obviously for a quarterback, baseball, it allows you to throw at different angles. It kind of translates to football a little bit. Is there anything that translates from baseball to football for a wide receiver, or not really?
I would say the biggest thing is, when I play outfield is, if I can track the
Sure.
baseball, it's like tracking a punt. So
Yeah.
I've seen that's probably been the biggest correlation for me. And just like being able to hit at the college level, your hand-eye coordination has to be pretty good.
Sure.
And I think that just has helped me along the way of being able to catch the football. I take a lot of pride in catching the football, and making
Yeah.
contested catches. Yeah, and yeah, and it's just I think it translates a lot in different things though.
Sure.
But yeah,
Sure. No, that's really cool. That's awesome, man. Um,
Yeah.
what made Minnesota such an intriguing spot? I know you talked about Kevin O'Connell. Was there anything else? I know they had that NFLPA like organizational rankings come out. They were ranked number 1 in the entire NFL. Did that come into effect at all, or is that something you didn't really
I
look at? I guess.
I didn't even know that, but when
Sure.
I talked to Coach O'Connell before the draft, I talked to my head coach about it, Dave Doran, and he was really, he said the Vikings are, a great organization. And I played
Sure.
with Garrett Bradbury in college, so
Yep.
he actually came back for the spring game, and he was just
Sure.
asking me how my process has been going, and just asked me because I played with him, so I
Yeah.
hadn't seen him in probably 3 years since he had left, and so he
Cool.
just was kind of just telling me about the transition in staff and how much he loves this new staff and the atmosphere and the culture and it's just kind of weird how it ended up all happening this way. Just I randomly ended up talking to Garrett about it, and then
Sure.
3 weeks later, I got Coach O'Connell calling me. So yeah, I think it's just it was kind of meant to be maybe. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. That's really good insight there.
Yeah.
Tom, you got anything?
Yeah, yeah, of course. You're entering obviously a very crowded wide receiver room. I'm sure you saw they took Jordan Addison 1st round. You have Justin Jefferson. So, I was just kind of curious, what do you think that you kind of bring to the table that's, that could be intriguing just from a schematical standpoint, where do you kind of think you fit? Do you think you're more of a slot receiver where you could find a fill role in the slot, or do you have the
Yeah.
versatility from both inside and out?
I think I'm a slot, but Coach kind of said it himself. He's like, coaches might in this league might say you're a slot receiver, and they mean it in the most disrespectful way. But he's like, for me, I see it as a positive. I think I have a fit for that type of receiver in my offense. And yeah, I just think I'm 6'1", 198. I'm big enough to play outside if need be. I did it a little bit here, but I'm definitely my bread and butter is in the slot, and just my ability to catch the ball and my routes. I think my routes are really great, and I kind of show that a little bit. I post my one-on-ones on TikTok from college, and it kind of blew up. But just my ability
Sure.
to run routes and create separation, and just have like different flavor. Like just I have a creativity about my routes that I take a lot of pride in.
All right, and then who would you say that you mold your game after? Is because there's a lot of people that we've talked to over the recent years who have said that they're great route runners, so they watch a lot of Cooper Kupp and Adam Thielen tape. So who would you say
Yeah,
that you kind of mold yourself after?
yeah, I would say my route ability. I definitely like looking at Cooper Cup, but for a toughness standpoint, I always grew up being a fan of Julian Edelman. Um, you
Love
know
him.
those guys are just they're different in my opinion. I think Cooper has a little bit more savviness to him, which I try to emulate. And then obviously being that dog going across the middle, being that, when Edelman was playing, he caught all those balls across the middle, the crossing routes. And obviously finding my way onto the field through special teams, such as being a punt returner and doing it for a very long time. I've done it in college for 4 or 5 years. And, I've averaged about 10 yards a return in college at the highest level. So, um, you know, yeah, I feel like I can bring a lot of different things to the table.
Yeah, I love that Julian Edelman comparison. I absolutely love that. Even just watching some of your tape, and you kind of referred to it already, but your route running is immaculate. Like, you're so twitchy, you come out of your breaks fast. I absolutely love watching your tape, and then your run after the catch ability, which I think Julian Edelman was a little bit underrated in
Yeah.
that aspect. Which I think you can do a lot of that as well, from the slot or from the outside. So I think that's something's going to translate very well. Yeah, I love that Julian Edelman comparison for sure.
Yeah, I just I take a lot of pride in obviously yards after catch. Obviously, I can make moves if need be, but I feel like I'm really good at just getting north and getting what I can too, and
Yeah.
just being smart about it.
Yeah, for sure, man. So, now that you made it to the NFL, like, what are you most excited about? Are you excited about proving yourself, or do you really not have anything to prove? I mean, honestly, I'm sure your mindset, you're gonna have the same mindset if you're a first rounder, or a seventh rounder or undrafted. What mindset are you kind of have coming into the NFL?
I'm gonna have the same mindset I had when I got to college. I was a walk on. I don't know if I could like there in college when you're a walk on. I don't know um, how I can compare it to this, but I just know that I'm gonna have to do all I can. But I do feel like I'm in a good place as far as like having Coach O'Connell, him liking me,
Yeah,
and I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of opportunities because of that. But like I said again, like my goal is to make the 53 man roster, and so I know I'm
heck
gonna
yeah.
have to do some stuff in camp to turn some eyes and just be consistent. I think that's one thing I'm consistent in my playing ability. I'm consistently healthy. I didn't miss a college game. So just, being in that aspect of things, I think that's really important when it comes to the NFL. Guys just staying healthy is one of the main things.
Yeah, we like to say the best ability is availability. And our quarterback, Kirk Cousins, he hasn't missed a start since he's been with us. So, that's something, head coaches, organizations definitely value, just being available. And then obviously, you're joining a wide receiver group with Justin Jefferson, probably one of the best, if not the best, wide receivers in the entire game. Are you going to be nitpicking his brain as much as you can? Or what are you going to kind of, take away from Justin Jefferson's game?
I'm just going to observe him. I think,
Yeah.
having I played in the slot when I was a freshman. You know, I was the third receiver on the team when I was a freshman at NC State as a walk
Wow.
on. And number one was Jacoby Myers, who's now on the Raiders. So I was fortunate enough to play a lot of football with him, and my quarterback was like Ryan Finley, and so who was in the NFL for 3 years or
Oh, yeah.
so. And so, I mean, and Garrett was the center, and we had like Jermaine Pratt on defense. Like I played in Naheem Hines and Bradley Chubb and all
Wow.
these guys. So, I've been playing with some really high caliber type players for a while now, and what I do is just I try to surround myself with really good players as far as like have those guys in my corner, or, try to have those guys and talk to them and take things from here, take things from there. And I think that's what I'm just going to do. I'm obviously not going to come in and I'm not going to try to be his best friend, but at first I got to show, gain the respect of my peers. And then as that happens, I feel like then I can, obviously observe him and learn from him and hopefully, become really good friends with him.
Hell yeah, man. I love that. You got anything to add, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. How does it feel to know that like your childhood dream has always been to make it, NFL? Now that you're here, you could call yourself an NFL football player. Obviously, there's a lot of work that still has to be done as you're about to head into rookie mini camp and OTAs. But just processing everything. How does it make you feel knowing that you've made it to the league and at least have a chance to show what you got?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a childhood dream. I grew up, watching, I liked watching the Patriots when they had Troy Brown, like early Tom Brady years when they were winning Super Bowls, Deion Branch and those guys, because I was a fan because my dad played with Troy Brown in college. So I kind of started watching, and I was a Steelers fan, so I grew up watching, Ben Roethlisberger as far as I can remember being our quarterback in Steelers, and I remember when Santonio Holmes caught the winning pass against the Cardinals. Like I love football, and so I know a lot about the game. I know a lot about college football. I know a lot about NFL football. So to kind of be able to I played college football already. I set my mark in there. I left my legacy at that level. and I'm hoping to do the same at the professional level. And I'm a competitor. I don't think there's many guys out there like me the way I compete, and it's just been my lifestyle my whole life. So.
Okay, and then I would say, one of the, we know the Adam Thielen story, where he was an undrafted guy, where now, there's a lot of guys where we're looking for Mr. Mankato, the guy that's really going to stand out compared to everyone else. So, what makes you feel like by the end of training camp that you're going to be, Mr. Mankato, that you can be the guy who does stand out as a UDFA? It kind of just shows everyone that you were overlooked. What do you think needs to happen for you to make that happen?
I just think I need to step on the grass. And when I get on the grass, I feel like, everything will take care of itself. I train, the way I prepare, it gives me the confidence to go out there and do my thing. And yes, I work hard, but I have ability, and my ability is, very unique in my opinion. So I'm looking forward to getting out there and proving myself.
Absolutely.
Love it, man.
And the last question for me is, just what are you most excited about now that you're a Minnesota Viking?
I think just, when I got to college, my, biggest thing was just gaining the respect of my teammates at the college level. And so I'm kind of just, excited to, gain the respect of Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson and just like guys like that. We're at the highest level. So I think if I'm able, that's one of my goals is just gain the respect of those guys and have them tell me that, I belong here and I'm doing my thing. So.
Absolutely, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on. Going back to that Mr. Mankato. So training camp used to be in Mankato, and whoever was the standout, they'd be called Mr. Mankato. Well, now it's in Eagan, Minnesota, brand new facilities and everything like that. So in Mankato, they were staying in college dorms and stuff like that. So probably not much different from when you're in college. But now that it's in Eagan, it's all brand new facilities. So it's a lot nicer up in Eagan, but it's still called Mr. Mankato. So if you ever hear that reference, that's kind of where it's from. Now the last question I have is just not football related. You're from North Carolina. You said you kind of grew up there. Are you ready for this Minnesota weather?
Oh, yeah.
Probably not. I won't be,
Yeah.
ready for it until I'm actually there. I mean, I was born in West Virginia. I lived in Ohio.
Okay.
So it's not like I haven't, I know Minnesota is completely different, but
Yeah.
it's not like I haven't been in colder climates than I am at
Sure.
right now. So
Sure. Well, summers are beautiful. So
that's
the
what I've
first few
heard.
months will be nice. Yeah.
I'm actually really good friends with Blake Prohl. So
Oh, sweet.
Oh, yeah.
so he's kind of told me a lot about it, and
Yeah. Oops.
Oh, no. Blake Pearl. That guy could sing.
Yeah. He's probably singing right now. There he is.
yeah, he can sing for sure.
Yeah.
He's been a long time friend of mine, and
Awesome.
his dad has helped me a lot. Also, he's trained me a little bit too. So
Sure. No, that's really cool, man. Well, we're definitely going to be watching you. We really appreciate you coming on, man. It means the world. Kind of sharing your story, sharing the process and everything like that. Last thing you want to tell Vikings fans or anything like that?
I mean, yeah, I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to getting up there and proving myself every day. There's no one that's going to outwork me. No one's going to outcompete me, and I'm just ready to show the world that.
That's awesome, man. Really appreciate it. You can follow Thayer at Thayer Thomas1 on Twitter. Then he also has a website, I believe. I was kind of checking out a little bit before, ThayerThomas.com. He's got some product on there. Got some cool stuff going on there.
That was all my NIL stuff that I was doing. I got clothes and stuff, so it was
Cool.
It was neat. It was neat. My last year and a half kind of was, I had a little bit of NIL stuff going on, and it was kind of cool getting to that side of things and learning how to market yourself and do certain things like that. So when I get to this level, I could possibly, take the things I learned and, translate it.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you, Thayer. Thank you, Tom. I really appreciate you guys hopping on.